Imagine this for a moment: extinction is not always a full stop. Sometimes it's a comma. Sometimes it's a question mark. Across the world, in oceans too deep to fully map, forests too dense to walk through, and mountains too remote to survey, there are animals officially declared extinct, yet never definitively proven gone. Tonight, we're exploring 10 extinct animals that could still be alive today, based on sightings, unexplored habitats, and the uncomfortable truth that humans have only mapped a fraction of this planet. Let's start with an animal that vanished in silence rather than catastrophe. The thylacine, often called the Tasmanian tiger, was officially declared extinct in 1936. It looked like a wolf, had stripes like a tiger, and carried its young in a pouch like a kangaroo. This alone made it feel like an evolutionary paradox. What makes the thylacine special is not just what it was, but how recently it disappeared. Farmers hunted it relentlessly, believing it killed livestock, despite later evidence suggesting otherwise. After the last known thylacine died in captivity, Tasmania's wilderness remained vast, rugged, and largely unexplored. Over the decades, hundreds of credible sightings have been reported by hikers, rangers, and locals. Some describe seeing a dog-like animal with a stiff tail and distinctive stripes slipping into the forest. Motion cameras have captured shapes that don't match any known species. The thylacine was nocturnal, elusive, and intelligent. If even a small breeding population survived deep in Tasmania's wilderness, it could have remained hidden for decades. Next, we descend into the ocean, where extinction becomes even harder to prove. The Caribbean monk seal was officially declared extinct in 2008, but it was already rare long before that. These seals were gentle, slow-moving, and had little fear of humans, which made them tragically easy targets for hunters who slaughtered them for oil and meat. However, the Caribbean Sea is enormous, filled with caves, remote islands, and underwater systems barely explored. Fishermen and divers have reported seeing seals matching monk seal descriptions long after their supposed extinction. Because seals are mobile and capable of traveling long distances, it's possible that a tiny population adapted to deeper or more remote areas. In the ocean, absence of evidence is never evidence of absence. Now consider an animal that feels almost mythical: the ivory-billed woodpecker. This bird was once the largest woodpecker in North America, with striking black feathers, white wing markings, and a powerful ivory-colored beak. It lived in dense swamp forests, environments that are incredibly difficult to survey. Logging destroyed much of its habitat, and by the mid-20th century, it was believed extinct. Yet in the early 2000s, researchers and birdwatchers reported sightings and even audio recordings that matched the ivory-billed woodpecker's distinctive call. Blurry video sparked massive controversy. Critics say the evidence isn't conclusive, but supporters argue that the bird's rarity and speed make clear footage nearly impossible. If even a handful of these birds survived in the deepest swamps, they could evade human detection for generations. Moving to Africa, we find the quagga, a subspecies of zebra that looked like it was fading out of existence even while alive. The quagga had stripes only on the front half of its body, with a brown, almost horse-like rear. It went extinct in the late 1800s due to hunting and competition with livestock. What makes the quagga fascinating is that genetically, it was extremely close to modern plains zebras. Some scientists believe animals resembling quaggas could still exist unnoticed among zebra populations, especially in remote regions. Even more intriguing, selective breeding programs have already recreated animals that closely resemble quaggas, raising the question: was the quagga ever truly gone, or did it simply blend back into the genetic noise of nature? Now let's talk about something that feels pulled straight from folklore. The Japanese wolf was declared extinct in the early 1900s. Smaller than grey wolves, it lived in Japan's mountainous forests and was deeply woven into local legends. Villagers once believed these wolves guided travelers and protected crops. When rabies outbreaks occurred, the wolves were exterminated rapidly. Yet Japan's forests are dense, steep, and difficult to access. For decades, people have reported seeing wolf-like animals in remote areas. Some photographs show creatures that don't match known dogs or foxes. Given how closely wolves can resemble large feral dogs, it's possible that a small population survived, quietly avoiding human contact. From forests to oceans again, we encounter the megamouth shark. This animal was once thought to be pure myth until a living specimen was discovered in 1976. Why does this matter? Because it proves how wrong we can be about extinction. While the megamouth shark itself is not extinct, it highlights how massive animals can remain unseen in deep waters. This brings us to the Steller's sea cow, a gigantic, slow-moving marine mammal hunted to extinction in the 1700s. It lived in cold waters and relied on kelp forests. Some cryptozoologists argue that deep, cold ocean regions could still support small populations. Occasional reports of massive, unidentified marine herbivores keep this theory alive. In the depths, survival often depends on staying out of sight. Now let's travel to New Zealand, home of the moa. These were enormous, flightless birds, some standing over 3 meters tall. Humans hunted them aggressively, and they were thought extinct by the 15th century. Yet for centuries afterward, Maori legends and later European settlers described seeing massive birds in remote valleys. Even in the 20th century, footprints and feather-like remains were reported. New Zealand's terrain includes isolated alpine regions and forests rarely visited by humans. While it may seem unlikely that such large birds could remain hidden, history reminds us that giant pandas were once thought extinct too. Next is the Pyrenean ibex, a wild goat declared extinct in 2000 when the last known individual was crushed by a falling tree. However, there were reports of ibex sightings years later in remote mountain regions. Mountain ecosystems are fragmented and difficult to monitor, and animals like ibex are agile, solitary, and capable of living in extreme terrain. Even more fascinating, scientists briefly cloned a Pyrenean ibex in 2003, making it the first species to technically return from extinction, even if only for minutes. This blurs the line between extinct and extant more than ever. Then there's the baiji, the Yangtze River dolphin. Declared functionally extinct in 2006, this dolphin lived in one of the most polluted and heavily trafficked rivers on Earth. Yet rivers are dynamic systems, and some stretches remain poorly studied. Fishermen have reported seeing dolphin-like creatures in isolated regions of the Yangtze long after surveys failed to find them. Dolphins are intelligent, mobile, and capable of avoiding human activity. If even a few baiji survived, they could remain hidden in quieter river sections. Finally, we end with the Falkland Islands wolf, also known as the warrah. This was the only native land mammal of the Falkland Islands, and it went extinct in the 1800s after being hunted by settlers. It was described as curious rather than aggressive, approaching humans without fear. Some sailors and locals later reported fox-like animals on remote islands long after extinction. While this case is weaker than others, it reminds us how easily animals can disappear from records, yet linger in reality. Extinction is often a human declaration, not a natural one. It's a statement made when we stop looking, not always when life truly ends. In a world where new species are discovered every year, and vast regions remain unexplored, it's entirely possible that some of these animals are still out there, breathing, hunting, and surviving in the shadows. The real question isn't whether they could still be alive. It's whether we're humble enough to admit how little we truly know.